Getting it all. Okay, we all getting. Appreciate y'all. Bear with us. We're getting everything live. Yeah, it should split the screen. Do you see?
I see it. I see my logo of me, my picture of me, but I don't see me.
Did you go live?
No, I didn't go live, but you sent me this. How do I go live?
Let me see here. Let me see something real quick. Let's see. And now, all
Yeah,
right. Now, see if you can request me. That's gonna be easy. Peace. We get it. Peace, fam. We getting it all. We getting it all together. Getting it all together.
I just stopped my live though. I know I'm live. I'm live on. I'm
Yeah.
definitely.
You straight on IG.
But
Nikita, were
somebody.
you able to do that? As far as Nikita, were you able to were you
I
able to
see
get?
you. I'm looking at you, and
Yeah. If you go to me on Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast and you see that I'm live, click on that, and it'll give you the option to join.
What about TikTok?
you're
Yeah.
totally
Did you do
breaking
it
up.
again?
I didn't hear anything you said.
All right. Let's see if you can do it again.
All right, I
Okay,
accepted
can
you.
you repeat what you said as far as how to get in on this live?
It said we're collect doing audio only.
Oh, your audio only. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. That's odd. Okay. Well, that's better than none. Shoot, that's better than none. You good. You good. At least I can hear you.
We're collecting audio only.
Oh, your audio. Okay. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's better than none. I don't know why it's not showing splitting the screen, but you know what I'm saying. We get it. We get it working. We get it rolling. Oh, there, okay. I see you. Um, now once since you now you have to request me to join, Nikita. There you go. You should be coming in momentarily. Oh, there she is.
Look at her
See, you did it.
doing big things over there.
You did it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get this bad boy rolling. We get this bad boy rolling. You know what I'm saying? We got enough of all these technical difficulties, all that mess, all that mess. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out there, we appreciate you for another great knowledge with the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast, in which we go down that rabbit hole, to find the truth. You know what I'm saying? Right knowledge, right wisdom, right understanding, all the way to the bottom. Feel me? So, as you know, I'm your Brozo. This is the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast, and this Polka Dot Rabbit podcast is specifically made to uplift humanity. But in addition, we have to wake up our melanated family that has gone to sleep and has been asleep for a very long time. Now is the day and time, and we need to remember who we are, where we came from, and utilize these skills to move forward. Okay, and be great like we used to be, and we will soon be again. All right. And if you haven't already, of course, please go to polkadot.rabbitpodcast.com. Get my book, Built a Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. Wrote that book about my personal experience about, being black in America and indoctrinated to the fullest T and then waking up and then realizing that, I'm stuck in a matrix. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go from there. And I have two amazing guests tonight. And of course, you people press subscribe and follow, for the ones that are watching. Appreciate that. Thumbs up, hearts, all that good love. Two great guests tonight. Okay. Um, I have the brother TJ and the sister Nikita. And ladies first, we're going to do introduction. Nikita, ladies first. Goddesses first, I should say. Go ahead and please introduce, tell the people who you are, and, we'll roll from there. Hold on one second. You might have to unmute yourself. It looks like you're muted.
Right.
Nikita, it looks like you're muted.
On the computer.
On the computer. Yeah, on your computer, you're muted. I just noticed that. Yeah, unmute yourself on the computer. You see that? Okay, now say something.
You see that?
There you go. I was wondering why I could only hear.
I was wondering why I could only hear.
Go ahead, start over.
Go ahead and start on the top. You can hear you now. Turn the volume down on your phone.
Turn your volume down on your phone, Nikita.
Okay, how is that?
Yeah, turn your volume down on the phone.
Muted on my phone?
No, just the volume down. Just turn the volume down.
It'll be on the
Because you're
side.
gonna get a crazy little echo.
Let's see. Turn it all the way down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry, hold on. It's not letting me turn it all the way down. Hold on.
We're getting things rolling. We got the brother TJ and Nikita with us. We're just getting things rolling right now. Peace. See y'all.
Okay,
See y'all in
the
the TikTok world. Thanks for joining. We're just getting things rolling up. We just logged in, so we're getting things cooking. So you good? You good, Nikita? Oh no, it's okay. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. As long as we can, don't worry about it too much. As long as not the echo ain't that bad, you cool. Okay, let me see how you looking on your. Okay. Okay.
Okay, are you getting feedback?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm getting some feedback, but I don't. It sounds like it's something. I don't think it's your phone.
I think it is. She will turn the volume all the way down. It is what she did. Y'all know we got some good information coming up for y'all. That's why we have technical difficulties for. And kind of
See,
it ain't gonna stop us. We gonna see.
you okay, wait a minute. You're muted again on your end. So if you unmute yourself. Okay. Okay, but that's cool. I mean, we'll just roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Just have to roll through the little technical difficulties. No big deal. All right, here we go. So you go ahead now, since you can hear. Go ahead and explain. Well, you know who you are, what you do, etc., etc. So go ahead, Nikita. We're working on it. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was talking to. Okay. And the brother TJ.
Oh, okay. My name is TJ Loftin, retired celebrity car builder, master mechanic. Uh, Also, I currently am a business and real estate coach and trainer. Traveled the country, did about 25 states, researching gentrification, finding out what's going on. Authored my first book. Actually, this is my second one. Finding out, just to better teach our young people what's going on and with real estate and entrepreneurship. I don't feel they should wait till they turn 18, 20 to decide to learn about business. So that's why I like to partner with the school system, my educators, my homeschoolers, and make it happen.
That's pretty dope, man. So I noticed something that went down in the Super Bowl. Did your do your associates have something to do with that?
Yeah, those are three of my partners. They all those are the biggest some of the biggest African American car builders on the planet.
Hmm.
They do a lot of movies, TV shows, commercials, videos. So that's what a lot of people didn't realize about us car builders, us lowrider guys. They look down on us. Anytime African Americans we do anything,
Yeah.
they gonna degrade it, try to
Hmm.
discount it. But fast forward the story, that was a very powerful situation for car builders. You got people all around the world seeing this because that was the biggest platform in the world. Most people
Yeah.
watched TV that night. So to see three lowriders pull up with three black guys, that was like groundbreaking for car builders. Now you got people from all around the world say, "Hey, I want one of those cars. How much y'all
Hmm.
charge me? Can you send me one to Germany, Australia?" You know, and they getting it back going again. Which that's how we've been eating for the last 30 years since we've been building cars. So yeah, that Super Bowl was like the hope. It was
That Super Bowl was a Super Bowl for y'all, right?
so riding, man. Wow. I
That's
had
what's up.
I had people call me after the Super Bowl say, "Wow, I guess you really was making money." Or I'm like, yeah, 30 years ago, and you just now figuring it out because you seen us on Super Bowl.
Video on TV.
Like, okay, yeah. See, we gotta communicate and listen. When we see something different, we gotta communicate and ask questions and believe. That's what I like about
Actual fact.
hey, she didn't hesitate. She said that makes sense. Let's teach my children that. I'm like, hey, that's dope.
Yeah. That is that. I mean, I never even thought about that. And once you talk, once I made the connection, you know what I mean. It really hit me about how powerful that is. You know what I'm saying? So I got some questions now because Nikita, I'm gonna start with you because I know you've been doing the whole homeschooling thing for a minute. So please, why did you even decide to start doing the each one teach one, home from school? What even got you motivated doing it?
I mean, I can't really say that it was ever this way, but there was a time when we were taught that if you get a quote unquote good education, go to college, a degree, you will be successful. You know, we taught that, and that's not true. And even, you know, you have to look at success and define it differently. Is it just about how much money you make and the kind of car that you have and what neighborhood you live in? Or is there more? You know, so we have just redefined all of those things. And we're giving the children cultivation for their whole being so that they can go out into this world and fulfill their destiny. That's how I define success. Are you doing what you came here to do?
So, so if I'm like now since you know the COVID hit, right, and a lot of people went virtual, right? Do you have like curriculums that people could do virtually that you have for them?
It's in the works.
Mhm.
So, in my professional opinion, live instruction is best for children.
Okay.
Right? But you know, we're in an age where virtual everything is what's happening. So I do have virtual offerings that are going to be made available in the coming months. For next school year, there will be a full curriculum of online classes being offered in addition to the in-person schooling.
Okay. Because I know that a lot of people going through all that might have actually enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So you know, some people might be like, "Well, I don't even want to go home. You know, I got this thing working now." So you know, it might be a better option for some families. How did that whole thing did once it came into effect and you had to like maneuver it? How exactly did you maneuver it, and what exactly what did you learn from it? You know, what having to maneuver.
Are you referring to COVID?
Yeah, COVID, exactly. COVID, virtual, yeah, all that whole mess.
Nothing changed for me.
Hmm.
What actually happened was people who I had talked to over the years and kind of shared some thoughts with about what I know to be real, what I know to be false. Then other people became aware of what I had been saying. The public school educational system is failing, has been failing. When COVID hit, it became very, very, very obvious.
Hmm.
And when people had to have their children at home with them, and those who attempted to work with their children, they began to see what their children don't know. Many began to wonder, well, how did you make it to fifth grade and you don't even know your times tables? Or how did you get this far and you can't even read these simple sentences? And parents began to see how difficult the job is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach children. It's no easy task. And it's not to say that teachers are to blame or that, parents completely are to blame. The system itself is not designed for success for children. It's not designed that way. So for me, the pandemic, it brought me more students. For some folks who saw what was happening, realized that they could not adequately support their children in the online structures that were being offered to them. They saw that it was bogus and they wanted to quickly find a solution. But it didn't change much for me other than increase my student enrollment. We actually carried on like normal. We instituted a little bit more of our immune boosters. That just became a part of what we give the children on a weekly basis. Natural remedies that boost their immune system, but everything else stays the same.
That's powerful just in itself because it's like you already know you already doing the right thing. You're in the right lane. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing because it is. I always said because I like in my book I talk about. I remember in fifth grade, I was told I was a slave. You know what I'm saying? And I still, today I still think about, just how, devastating that was. In contrast, how much I learned outside of school. And once I was able to compare that, I'm just like, yo, y'all told me this for this many years. You know what I'm saying? And like, you pretty much just lied to me the whole way. You know what I'm saying? So it is so important for us children to start at an early age with the right information, with the right knowledge. You know what I'm saying? From the jump. You know, TJ, how did you get into real estate?
I was actually when I was a younger guy, some guys in my neighborhood decided to build some strip malls, where we can go shopping because of the gang violence in Compton was too high.
Mm,
And people was getting murdered for going across the street into the wrong neighborhood to get some swabs for their mother or something, in a gallon of milk or whatever. So I was honored that those brothers came together. It took us to help us,
mhm,
So they bought like a bunch of parcels of land, and I got to watch the whole process,
mhm,
And they built some shopping centers. I got to watch them from finding the dirt all the way to should we let little Pookie run the cash register on,
mhm.
at the salon, at the barbershop, hypothetically speaking, I learned a lot with that. So that's how I got early start into real estate, which is another reason why, I appreciate working with the homeschool, each one teach one, because the things that I learned at a young age, I'm like 10, 11, 12 years old, learning
Mhm.
things that people are just now learning at 50 and 60 years old.
Exactly.
So to be able to go into the homeschool and give them something real and give them the knowledge at a young age
Mhm.
so that they can
Exactly.
know, they can grow up like buy a house. We don't buy houses, we build them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
I want them to learn that,
Yeah.
and that's what got me into this, outside of, they're building and the prices have far succeeded, the what makes sense. It's about, it's time to build them ourselves because it's more
Yeah.
affordable. It's cheaper to build than it is to buy.
Mhm.
So that's what got
So,
me.
how did y'all connect?
You want me to tell that story?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Both of y'all smiling. That's good.
Well, I had known Baba TJ for some years from listening to his classes at the Homeschool Expo. So I knew who he was. I had seen his work, his book. I sat in on one of his classes, and I just thought it was amazing that, well, his journey and his story itself is amazing. And the way that he was sharing it with young people and making it a viable option for them for entrepreneurship, how to
Mhm.
get into the automotive industry, how to get into manufacturing and creating tools and products that can be trademarked and copywritten and all of these things. I was amazed sitting in the class. And so a few months ago, he sponsored our school and another one of the schools in the community to go and see the movie, the Venus and Serena movie. And so, he sponsored our schools, and, we had a wonderful time and a wonderful discussion afterwards. And then we began to talk about what else we can do together. He has a wealth of knowledge that he was wanting to share with young people. He just needed a group of young people and a platform to be in line with what we want, because education is about bringing out what's naturally in the child. And so one of the things that I strive to do in Each One Teach One is to expose the children to a variety of things so that we can figure out where their genius lies. Because every child is a genius of some kind. You just figure it out by exposing them to different things. You expose them to musical instruments. You expose them to language and literature and writing. You expose them to different languages from around the world. You expose them to tools. You expose them to mechanics and all kinds of things until something clicks, until something begins to show itself as a natural connection. And so ever since the first day he came to our school to work with the children, it's kind of magical, Each One students are very good judges of character. And so they kind of read him well. They received him well. And so we now have a really great relationship where he's teaching the children a plethora of things. It's not even just one thing. It's not just automotive industry. It's not just financial literacy. It's not just business and entrepreneurship. It's a whole wealth of information that he's teaching them in a way that's palatable for young children. He's also giving them hands-on experience. They go around the school finding things to fix, finding loose doorknobs, and he teaches them how to fix it. Finding areas where the light is too dim and adding lighting in a room, and making adjustments to the door, a door that has been off the hinges for 2 years. And together they cut the door down to the right size and they put the door back on. Just all kinds of things that he's teaching them. And these are not only life skills, but these can become professional skills.
Right.
So it's an amazing thing.
That's like a very powerful foundation to have. First, you have the correct information, and then you start to build on finances, because that's the only thing that's the only gap that we have, is just the financial literacy. And there's now all this information is out here for. We just have to get exposed to it and expose these younger generations, because that's the only thing there is no the us and them. The us and them is just money and resources. You know what I'm saying? Besides that, you knock that down, then it's an even playing field. And I think what y'all are doing, starts that at an early age, in which a child turns 15 years old, 16 years old, like, well, let me go ahead and start my bank account. You know what I'm saying? Because let me start getting 18, whatever. They get let me get my credit straight. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanna own a strip mall. You know what I'm saying? So, TJ, when did the dots get all connected for you when it came to the information we didn't have and information that you saw, and how you started moving in the future?
It came to me when as a car builder, I'm building cars and I'm like in a bubble. Me and all these car building brothers. It's just a bunch of us, So it started off with all the convicted felons and brothers who was not going to college, the hood guys, street guys. Mm-hmm. So low ride, and it's like, okay, well, when they start putting low riders in rap videos, low riding exploded. Mm-hmm. So I was told, TJ, you need to open a shop because we got something amazing happening and we need more people. And the game because you've been learning this since you was 9, 10 years old. So yeah. I know you know everything. And it was like, wow, you've been putting me on. You taught me something at a young age, and now you putting me on to help me make a bunch of money in this. What you taught me. So I'm not only getting into the business, but I'm getting customers from my friends that taught me the game, and that's what entrepreneurship is. So I realized that I'm in this bubble and everybody's doing well. The conversations is, well, my house is paid off, my cars is all paid off, my second house is paid off, all my income properties paid off, But then when I come back and I started looking outside of the community of car builders, I'm like, my student loans is killing me. My apartment is, I'm losing my apartment. And I'm like, it's like night and day conversations going on. I'm like, but you got your doctorate. And they're like, but I got $100,000 in student loans. I can't buy a house. So I started realizing, well, why don't y'all do this? So I started really paying attention. And it's like, you're too good to come swing a hammer, but we making 7 figures, 6 and 7 figures, a high 6 and 7 figures. And you over there with an $80,000 job and your name is doctor, but you're better than me. Mm. And I just started realizing, I'm like, I'm offering you a way out of this, but you don't want it because you're too good. So I started realizing what was going on, the mindset,
program.
But and then on the top of that, I got a daughter, and I'm looking at my daughter. I'm like, this is her choice for a husband one day. You know what I mean? It's like, this ain't cool because she ain't never gonna get out my pocket like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on, 100. You got to wait. So if I send you off to college, you're gonna come home with $100,000 in debt, and your future husband's gonna be 100-something thousand in debt. Y'all both gonna be in my pocket. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I started looking at that and thinking long term. You know, I had a mortgage broker license, a real estate license, and I'm like, this is a setup for failure because I'm conscious, right? And I'm like, this is a setup for failure. So I started kind of let me start teaching people what I know. Let me teach them how to make money. Let me call my homeboys and tell them I taught them so they can help them start businesses and give them jobs. So that's how I got into it. But what really put me out there to really go for it was Dr. Sabi told me, he said, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You know, forget that other stuff. You're supposed to be spreading the word, traveling around the world, teaching people. And I'm looking at him like, that ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
it made sense because I had a situation in Leimert Park, California, where they were trying to gentrify the community and kick all the Africans out of the park, kick us all out the park. You know, and I'm like, this is a little incubator up in this park. We need this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was the only person that had the language and the knowledge to know what to say to fix the problem, to stop this situation. And that's when Dr. Sabi said, look, nobody else is doing that. You need to go travel and teach people. And I realized, wow. Because, you know, I'm thinking like, I got nothing but the utmost respect for people that say, my name is Dr. Professor, you know what I'm saying, pastor, whatever. But when I realized they couldn't write a check for anything, I'm like, okay, so I overstand now. So I start doing research. So that's when I start traveling all around the country. And I'm leaving California. I realized California is the wealthiest city in the wealthiest state.
Yeah.
New York. And I'm looking at the Mississippis, the Atlantas, and I'm looking at the failing, how bad it is outside, you know? And it's just like, look, now I feel like the messenger, like, hey, y'all, slavery has ended. Entrepreneurship is here now. This was real. They don't want us doing this because I had a lot of problems with them trying to stop me from doing this. But
Yeah.
if four of us was doing this, we wouldn't have these problems.
Exactly.
That's when I realized I started talking to the schools in Compton, and boy, I felt like I was trying to teach them how to sell drugs or try to teach them how to do something illegal because they were like, you didn't go to college, so we don't need you coming in here influencing them, you know, in any way because we want them to go to college. And I'm like, really? The purpose of life, the purpose of education was to get some kind of knowledge. So no matter what it is, as long as it's enough that I can go out and apply it and raise a family, purchase a home, take care of my children, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't know somehow it became about the piece of paper on the wall, the respect on the name. My name is Doctor, so y'all got to respect me. So it's not even about the financial success. I realized that. So I said, look, I mean, like they said, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. So I was humbled and thankful when the homeschoolers opened the door for me, like, come on in and bring us the message of what's happening down the pipeline and what we need to know to prepare babies. That right there was a very difficult job, but they made it easy for me. I was so happy. Like the homeschoolers are like, come on in. You can come in here. I was like, wow. Thank you for that. I'm humbled.
That's beautiful, man. And it's real interesting right now because I was just having a conversation recently, and I was like, as I was talking to the person I was talking to, I was like, you know, everything we like, it's kind of like I said earlier, everything we've been taught to do is ass backwards, completely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Prime example. Oh, you go to school now. Granted, if you want to go to school, fine. People. That's cool. There ain't nothing wrong with it. But you know, if you go walk straight to $1 million as opposed to walking up mountains and going in the rivers and all this kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? There's a better way to get that $1 million. You know what I'm saying? There is, as opposed to going by the system they set up for you to do that. You know what I mean? I keep on telling the people, my viewers, my followers, I was like, yo, y'all been lied to. Everything that you can think about, you know what I'm saying, is pretty much it's bogus. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not exaggerating at all. You can go from the religious aspect, you can go to, You can go to any aspect that you want.
Yeah.
You know, finance, you can go all the way down the line. You know what I'm saying? The system was really set up for specific people. And then, like TJ said, they don't want you in this game. You know, so you got to think outside the box.
You
And
know,
it starts with the education. You know what I'm saying? It starts with the education at a young age. You know what I'm saying?
it absolutely amazes me that I will go to places and all of a sudden the people who don't look like us will look at me mad, like, how did you learn that?
Yeah.
Where did you get that information from? What Ivy League school did you attend? And I'm like, I didn't even go to college. What are you talking about? So he knows, he said Ivy League colleges are the only places that teach this kind of information. I'm like,
Mhm.
talking about building houses and structuring the community and developing the whole city. They're like, that's an Ivy League class. They don't teach that in regular colleges. And it was like, they was upset about it. Like, you wasn't supposed to learn. So it,
What are you?
what are our children learning then? What are they learning? So I really I'm like a really big researcher and I'm very alert, conscious, and critical thinker. I pay attention to stuff. I try to make everything make sense. And when I just came to the conclusion of, like you said, slavery never ended. They just changed the platform. But now it's about, let's take the trades from them. Let's take with slavery's ending. Now we got to pay these people for this stuff. We got to pay the people who built America, who built the world, and did all these amazing things. Now we got to pay them. So let's go ahead and give them something shiny to replace that knowledge that they have. Because if we can get rid of that knowledge, then we can make them work for us. You know what I mean? So they said, hey, we got this thing called higher education. No one's ever used it before. It's brand new. You know what I'm saying? Forget that stuff, the working, the trades. See, they always talk, when they talk about slavery, they always talk about cotton. Oh,
Yeah.
cotton. No, 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 no. Slaves was building railroads. They was building Washington, D.C. They was building cities. They had all the knowledge. Remember when they said, oh, the races, the clans would come burn down the black person's house and the whole community, black people would come together and rebuild the house?
Exactly.
Meaning we had the knowledge. So now if somebody burned down one of our people's houses, we're gonna be standing around scratching our head like,
yeah, what we do next?
what do we do? But it's only a few of us left that really knows how to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And highly sought after. So it should be normal for a person of my stature to come back into the schools and teach. It should be normal, but there are so many brick walls put in place to keep people like me out.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, and I'm not here to bash college. I'm just here to say we have to know what's really going on and pay attention, because they found out I did not attend college and you have that brilliant mind. We can't let people know, because I gotta be able to say, they said, where'd you learn all that from? They want me to say Morehouse or I graduated from Howard, but for me to say, oh, I'm a convicted and I learned how to work on cars in my mom's backyard, that ain't what they want to hear.
Nah.
They because the school system said people like that fail in life. If you don't have this degree, you will fail in life. So it's mandatory that they tell these students that clear across the country, but it's not true.
Hey, real quick, are you muted on TikTok? Because it looks like you're muted. Can you see?
Yeah, I got it down lower so it won't echo. I cut the volume back.
Yeah, turn it. Yeah, because some of the people, actually, real quick, Nikita, somebody had a question. Let me see if it went away or not. Hold on a second. Yeah, the question is, to elaborate, is someone else allowed to homeschool another's child? Let me say it again. To elaborate, is someone else allowed to homeschool another's child? That's the first question.
It is lawful to employ someone else to homeschool your children. The parent is still considered the primary educator, but they can hire tutors and other instructors to carry out instruction. So yes, it is totally lawful, legal to hire someone to teach your children.
Okay. We got another question here. Hold on one second. Let me get to it. Okay, well, it's kind of it's kind of like the same question. They were saying, can only the parents homeschool their children? But you pretty much answered that. So okay, so going back to you were saying real quick, TJ, and it's
It's
amazing
amazing to me because
because of the day and time you are with all this information and knowledge, you know, that we're slowly starting to get it. Is it still a very small network that of people that are doing this, or is it growing? Like, what's the, you know, how is it? Are you seeing growth in all this? What you're seeing right now, even with y'all's collaboration?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I think what happened was I was telling people in 2012, I was like the guy who cried wolf. I was like, hey, these houses gonna be 200,000-300,000. Y'all gonna be in trouble, and y'all ain't gonna be able to buy no houses. And everybody was looking at me crazy. But now the median home price in LA is 900,000. Everybody's like, wow, TJ said that way back then. But here's the thing: he was the only one talking about this. So now people are starting to wake up because they realizing that a lot of people they've been dealing with have lied to them. A
Yeah,
lot of things they've been taught is not working. So people for the first time in decades are looking outside of the traditional platforms
yeah.
for education. So that's how they find people like myself,
Mhm.
And I'm like when COVID hit, I mean, they had me sitting in right here in my office. That's why I had to get an office so I can do more Zoom classes. People were like, I want to pay you to teach my son, because everybody else stopped working except for the construction
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So I'm out here traveling the country. I'm in Home Depot every day. And they like, y'all crazy. Why y'all ain't got no mask on? Why y'all ain't at home? I'm looking around like, y'all, do they look like these people at home? Home Depot
Exactly.
filled up. They like the market. They said TV say the market gonna crash. I'm like, Home Depot and Lowe's is filled up. So
Hmm.
that made people jump the fence and said, oh, TJ said something is up. He knew what was coming down the pipeline. I want my children to learn from him. So I'm excited about it. I've been busy. I originally got this office so I can be here for, I'm gonna ride it out in my little office until the pandemic is over. And now they got me like working on classes and doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, this is becoming full time here.
That's a beautiful thing, man, because this is the day and time. You know what I'm saying? Which we need to fill that gap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep on saying this. I don't care if it might sound like I repeat myself, but with this brother and this sister right here, what they're doing is just key in so many ways. In addition, TJ was talking about Dr. Sebi earlier. You know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all seeing this pyramid, so to speak, that's being built. You got the brother that's dealing with health, right? You know what I'm saying? Connected with finances and connected with education. You know what I'm saying? That right there, it's the foundation. It is a pyramid for to build really generational wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? That to me, that is so key. Health, wealth, and education. You know what I'm saying? So Nikita, here's a question. Dealing with homeschooling itself, how do you feel like when some people be like, oh well, they're gonna miss out on social skills and etc. because of homeschooling? How do you combat that? Or what is the right, from your experience, how do you feel about that?
I would introduce them to any one of my students, any one of my children, so that they can have a dialogue. The children that I have taught, whether they were children that I birthed or my students, their social skills are actually better than public school children, your average public school child, because the kind of socialization that our children are getting is intentional. They're not thrown into a pit, so to speak, with a bunch of other uncultured children and just allowed to run amok. They're actually being cultivated. Their social skills, their ability to communicate, their ability to apply manners and how to talk to people, how to talk to people who are in your peer group, how to talk to your elders. All of those things are being cultivated. And because we have a collective and they're being homeschooled together, they're not lacking anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're not lacking anything. So for me, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
I don't debate with people about what I know to be true. I would just be like, come sit, talk to Saleya, come sit, talk to
Right.
Subi.
Right.
Come talk to one of these children, and they'll blow your socks off.
So it's definitely, I mean, even like they say, what quality over quantity. You know what I mean? And I've seen your school, your setup, and I'm just like comparing that to the old crazy schools I went to growing up. I'm just like, you can really learn something here. I mean, just off of the setup. You know what I'm saying? Like I can imagine if I was sitting in your class and Mr. Kita, I got a question about so and so, and just walk over. Okay, Joseph, this is what happened. This is what happened. I could visualize that when I was sitting in the classroom, and also just the beautiful, positive imagery in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? People might not. I guess they have to go back and watch the video that we did together years ago to see some of that. But I mean, seriously, like culture, like you said, cultivating. Cultivating these children. It's the most important thing in getting them out of the hands of literally the enemy that is indoctrinating with incorrect information.
And everything matters, like literally everything. The imagery they're surrounded with, the music that's playing in the background, the colors, the kind of language, the vibe that's coming from the teacher's own level of consciousness. All of those things matter. Nothing is for nothing, So if everything is selected intentionally, if the teachers have a consciousness and a vibration that's emanating love, it's emanating not just intelligence, but a love of self, a love of our culture and our people. If the atmosphere is conducive to this kind of cultivation, then that's where the magic is. Then, teaching is easy because you have all of this energetic work undergirding giving them information about various different things. But all that has to be intact. It all matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the image behind you right now, Brother Zoser, when I'm talking to you, the image behind you is sending subconscious messages to my brain. So imagine if that was an image not of a Black woman with her hair wrapped, looking beautiful and representing our culture. Imagine if it was somebody that doesn't look like me, right? The other beauty standards. Imagine if that was the message going into my brain while I'm talking to you. It would be triggering self-hate, low self-esteem, making me feel like, well, maybe I'm not beautiful because that image behind him is not reflecting me. All of those things matter, even on a subconscious level. So all those things have to be considered and taken into account in a learning environment.
I think it's very interesting in TJ and both of y'all, like how there's always everything's a cycle, big circles. You know what I mean? And when I look at y'all two right now, I see the beginning of a great cycle. You know what I mean? I see the beginning. I remember Bobby Hemmett. Bobby Hemmett one time he was talking about. He's like the nigga is the most perfect thing, that the perfect ashlar, the smoothed out ashlar, because you can't get no worse from it. It's like the low degenerate state. All you can do is get better from that. And I completely see, how, and I tell people all the time, we can't get any worse than what we were. You know what I mean? We can only get better. And not to get too deep, but I don't care. Yo, we in a day and time, and when this in the universe, and this sun is kicking down this energy on us melanated folks, and we're like, yo, y'all, it's time, y'all gotta wake up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta wake up. It's time. Yo, y'all been asleep for way too daggone long. Y'all did y'all penance. Y'all sentence. Y'all are free again. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
And these are the keys. I'm trying to tell y'all, I got to put this out there. These are the two most important keys that we have right now. Um, Building this, because I want you to kind of elaborate something on TJ. Could you please talk about the importance of real estate? I ain't talking about buying and selling, all that stuff. I'm talking about the true dealing with tangibility. Dealing with something that is just and being able to grow and build on that. Could you please elaborate on that?
Real estate has always been a long-term investment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about buying to sit and hold.
Mm-hmm.
Never this whole flipping market. I'm like, what the heck is a flip? When they start pushing that down the pipeline and like the 90s, the mid 90s, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this ain't good,
Yeah.
But it's when you have real estate, we're talking about generational wealth. You have something that you can leave your children and they can leave to their children and their children's children, and we call that the family house. When you
Yeah.
have a business, like for example, I bought my commercial building, hypothetically speaking, and I'm running my business and I pay off the building. I picked up the building at $59,000. So by the time my children get older, the building's worth $990,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Meaning they wouldn't have had a fair chance to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a big mortgage. They would have never owned a brick and mortar. But because dad passed it down to them, and like right now, real estate, the government has decided to remove home ownership from us
Mm-hmm.
people. So that's why they catapulted the real estate prices clear across the country. And it's hard. You cannot afford to buy stuff because everything is so expensive. And
Mm-hmm.
even Georgia just put out a letter. They did on the media, on the news. They said Georgia's not affordable anymore.
Yeah.
But when you own real estate, you will always be okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a 1-bedroom little hole in the wall with homeless people or gang members across the street, that
Mm-hmm.
house is going to go up in value because the more they pull, the more they raise these prices, the more people can't afford them. We got doctors and lawyers moving out of California because they're not living the life of a doctor
Mm-hmm.
because the housing prices is too expensive. Real estate has far exceeded the affordability price to where now a lot of our educated are realizing we need to look somewhere else because
Mm-hmm.
being a doctor is no longer enough. A college
Yeah.
degree is no longer enough. But that's what I like about the homeschoolers because I'm able to come in with real world information, up
Mm-hmm.
to date information. I'm like, look, I just saw this morning on the news, and this is what's happening, and we need to make a change. We need to stop teaching our children this and start teaching them about that. And then when I go to, and she like, cool, let's go for it. But then when I look at the traditional schools, they're not getting any of the up to date information. They're still on, basic information, which is no longer hiring.
Mm-hmm.
Jobs are outdated. We got cars flying now. They got flying cars. They're building
Mm-hmm.
for cities all around the country, around the world. It's not even about a driver's license anymore. It's about a pilot license.
Pilot license. Yeah.
I saw one of my little my buddies from Compton, who got his pilot license at 14 years old in Canada. Now he's out there living in the Emirates in Dubai. You know what I mean? So we got to start teaching our young people things to where they'll be in high demand versus
Mm-hmm.
they'll be looking for a job forever. You know what I mean? We
Mm-hmm.
don't want our young people in debt. And then as an entrepreneur that owns stuff, it's so easy for me to say, okay, I left at the top of the game in the car world.
Yeah.
In the real estate world, I'm one of the biggest speakers traveling the country speaking. So when someone finds out TJ trained this young person, they instantly trying to give them a job.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They coming in, you can sit down and talk to this 9-year-old and realize you're almost as smart as I am. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, where'd you learn this? Well, I learned from TJ. Look at TJ Loftin. Isn't he the speaker guy? I follow him, So
Yeah.
they're like, you hired. Well, I'm not looking for a job,
Yeah.
But it's about who taught you. Like when I say I was Dr. Sabi's student, people like immediately, oh, come on in.
Yeah. On proxy.
Anyway, you're a TJ student. Oh, come on in. You're hired. Can you
Yeah.
do the job for it? Can you come build this for us? Can you build my car? Can you build my house? Can you teach me about real estate? Because I know who you learned it from.
Exactly.
Miss Nikita taught you that. I know who you learned from. You're hired. There's
Yeah.
no application necessary. You know what I mean? And that's how it works for other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That part together about us having value in our members in the community. I look at talk about Dr. Sabi again. Do you know I don't remember him ever being invited to go speak at a school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't invite Black scholars for the most.
They just try to debunk them. You know what I'm saying?
They're not
They put their energy in debunking.
Yeah, so I love the situation with each one teach one, because I can call today and say, hey, my homeboy, he's amazing. He just did. She's like, bring him over. You know what I'm saying? We're bringing. I got a room on Friday so that he can talk to the young people.
That's it.
And we want to do that. We want to do that as speakers. You know what I mean? We want to do that. We want to be able to come. Can you imagine saying, "Oh, I took classes from Malcolm X back in the days.
Yeah.
I registered for Marcus Garvey's classes back in the days." Can you imagine being able to say that?
Yeah.
And that's how I learned how to do all of this stuff. When I became successful, a lot of my friends was looking at me crazy, and it's like, nobody's patting me on the back. Nobody's excited for my success. You know why? They were like, look who you was hanging with. We would be disappointed if you didn't do that. Does that make sense? Look who you were learning from. Look who you grew up under, whose feet you sat at. Well, you'd be straight a disappointment if you didn't learn all that. So we got to give that to these young people today. And most importantly, the schools got to call us. Should be calling us. It shouldn't be about college. It should be coming kindergarten. Because look at this mess they're teaching these young people. And that's another reason why people wanted to put their children in homeschooling. When homeschooling started, because of COVID, they were looking at the curriculum like, what the heck is this crap you read?
Yeah, exactly.
Parents are mad. Like, who allowed this? I didn't sign off on this. Oh, they just passed it on you guys.
It's like everything's going backwards from how it was originally, because it's like Nikita was saying earlier. Oh, you throw them in a school and everybody, it's like a production mill, like a cookie cutter thing. But now it seems like it's going backwards, in which less is better. You know what I'm saying? Less is better, and you're looking for that because that knowledge isn't out there for the masses. You know what I'm saying? It's real interesting, TJ. Like, I was watching. You remember that movie, The Big Short? I know you probably remember that, The Big Short.
I think Ms. Nikita has something to say really quick.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Not really quick, but
yeah, I was just listening to Baba TJ and thinking about how we need new ways of authenticating people. We need new systems in place. We need certifiers and authenticators that are based on your actual training, your actual hands-on apprenticeships, not just, oh, I got this degree, because a degree does not guarantee you skills. I have a college degree, but had I not put myself in places where I could get experience in my field, and that happened off campus, if I had not done that, I wouldn't have had the experience to do well when I did get to the student teaching part in senior year. I think that young people need opportunities for apprenticeships under masters, under those who have mastered their craft, under those who have a high expertise. And I think that should weigh more and have more value versus just a piece of paper with no validation of what a person
actually do with the philosophy or the theory that they learn. I think we need, I think it's time, and I think people have to step outside of those old boxes and just create new systems where we're bold enough to say, I don't care what school you went to, what can you actually do? I don't care what degree you got. Let me see what you can actually do.
skills do you actually have?
What are you able to bring that's marketable, that's useful and needed, not just titles and things like that. Like that won't cut it anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's unfortunate how I look at people who come to me and say, for example, I got people who don't know who I am, and they'll be like, well, why should I take your class? I don't know, it's like, I try something else to work, so that stuff don't work. I'm like, well, who taught you? Who taught you learn about real estate? And they'll be like, oh, this guy graduated from our school. And I'll be like, why did you choose him? I just looked the guy up. He doesn't have any training in entrepreneurship. He doesn't have any training in real estate, but you're mad at me because he didn't teach you right, but you should be mad at yourself because he didn't have that background. So I asked him, what made you go with him? Oh, well, that was my fraternity brother. He graduated from my alma mater. He went to my church. All the wrong values. I'm like, you gave this man $25,000 to teach you something based on the fact that he's one of your church members? That doesn't have any background in there. If you would have looked me up, you'd have seen that I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. You would have seen that I created a lot of this is my expertise. And like Mr. Nikita was saying, we have an abundance of people right now that will all of a sudden find out that gentrification is something that everybody's talking about. They'll go read a couple books, and the next thing you know, they're keynoting a conference somewhere. I'm like, how are you keynoting a conference when you don't know anything about real estate? Oh, they researched and read some books. But yet I've traveled to 25 states. I've been in boots on the ground learning all of this information. And you don't want me to teach you because I didn't go to college. I didn't go to your church. I didn't go. So we have to change our values and look at who has the knowledge. Mm-hmm. And just have people that I call it change, like they say, changing lanes. It's really sickening how people will change lanes because this topic is trending now. Oh, everybody wants to learn about construction. So I'm going to read a couple of books. Hey, I bought TJ's book. So now I'm going to go teach some classes and do some keynote speeches and speak to the young people because my fraternity is going to give me the job first because I graduated from there. And that's wrong. Yeah. That's wrong. And you shouldn't, as a man or as a woman, you should not want them to pay you to do that. You should want the person that has the most knowledge because I see people like I'm the foremost expert on gentrification in the country because I understand when a major corporation moves. Yeah. When a major corporation moves, we're talking about thousands of jobs leaving the city. So that means the real estate's going to tank. We talk about a major corporation moving into an area, bringing 25,000 jobs. We talking about don't sell nothing now. Mm-hmm. Don't sell anything because this real estate's going to explode and you're going to want to sit back and collect rent off of that, creating generational wealth. So a person who reads a book and turns around and starts keynote speaking things and start teaching classes is going to deprive the people of what they need. And that's why they say by 2050, what they say by 2035, because of COVID, they say African-American wealth will be zero. I don't know if you heard about that. They got us all figured out. They got our people all figured out because they know. They said they're pulling back the loans, and they say most of these young people, college graduates, they got too many student loans. They don't own real estate, so they can put a date on it when our people are scheduled to fail. And I'm like, we got a short time to figure. It's like 12 years. We got a very short window to figure this out. We don't have everybody with this college stuff. It don't work no more. Yeah, I did a panel discussion not too long ago, and they were beating down on the people talking about the importance of why they got to go to college. And I said, are you guys homeowners? And all the people on the panel said no. So I was like, that right there is why y'all don't need to be going to college because they don't qualify to purchase a home. And I'm not here to talk about you guys. I'm here to educate you guys. Yeah. You don't continue. If we continue to do the things that we're doing now, we can guarantee our people are going to be doomed. Yeah, exactly. And the people who made it, we're gonna have to move away from everybody else because they're gonna be hating on us. You know? So right now, while we have the chance, let's fix the problem. So I started off with the young people. Let me come on in these homeschools and connect with each one, teach one. Miss Nikita, thank you for inviting me in so that I can bring these young people real world education, information. I can talk to the teachers and give them training and let them know this just happened this morning. Here goes the news article. Here goes this. Here goes that. And they can implement it instantly. Just like in that movie, what was that movie? The one about the space, couldn't get to space. Hidden Figures, right?
Which one was it?
Remember Hidden Figures?
Oh, Hidden Figures, yeah.
Remember the one sister when they bought in that thing called an IBM.
Oh yeah.
They were that IBM thing was gonna replace the human computers. So that went and stole the book because they was not going to rent her the book in the library. Y'all hear what I said? The library told her, no, you can't take that book. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all don't need to learn that. But at the same time, she stole the book, turned around and went and taught all her people. And the next thing you know, they ended up fixing that thing called an IBM. But the other people in there, they did not read that book. They was all about to be out of a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's happening right now to this day. If we got all this technology replacing people, these robots, these autonomous vehicles, these flying cars, these smart cities that are being built, they're about to leave our people on the ground. Poor people are going to be on the ground and rich people are going to be flying overhead. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to us right now to teach these people, our people, what they need to know, to get the right information to Miss Nikita so that she can spread it throughout the homeschool. You know, I'm going around the country, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be leaving state next week, going out to a different state to collaborate with some other brothers and find out what do our people need to know. I'm passing it back to Miss Nikita so that she can pass it to the parents and pass it to the children. And that's where we came from as a people. So all we doing right now is us collaborating. We're just doing what we used to do back in the days before slavery. That's it. This ain't nothing new. We just going back to where we came from. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. No. Yeah, and you know it's interesting because you know we always hear about this thing. Oh, we hear about the big reset. You know what I'm saying? The global reset, etc. What we're talking about right now, what you're talking about, is the reset for us.
Right, the black reset. That's what I call it.
Yeah, it is exactly. It's a reset for us. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's the reset for us to do everything right because there's no excuses. We got the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We got the knowledge. We got all the, you know, everything that's needed at this point. We got the knowledge. It was interesting. I was talking about this earlier. The movie, the big, I now forgot the name now. The one about the guy that's betting on the system falling. The big? Anyway, so they interviewed him years after he put the movie when they talked about it, etc. Right, and they asked him, "What did you buy? What was your biggest investments?" He said, "Land, and land with water on it." This was what? It had to be close to 20 years ago.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so and now they're saying, as y'all know, now Bill Gates trying to buy everything, all the farmland, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's real estate, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It's the only thing real out there.
Exactly. It's so beautiful, man, like to have y'all here talking about the key things. And I'm so happy that we have this documented so people can share it and see this, you know what I'm saying? Have a brother here that's wonderfully successful in what he's doing, an assistant successful in her own right, in doing the most important thing is educating our youth. And y'all coming together, man, I applaud y'all, you know what I'm saying, so much. And we need more of this.
Gratitude.
You know what I'm saying? So
even you give us a platform to share.
Oh, yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? Your family.
You know, everybody ain't trying to hear this message though.
Yeah, that's the truth, man.
Talking about the education system is like messing with somebody's religion. You know what I mean? Like, It's like education, religion, and politics. You can't tell nobody who you voted for. You better not tell nobody about they savior and all of that. It can be very so education go right in there. Don't say nothing about my university. Don't say nothing about I got my degree. You know, and I'm like, whoa, that was back in 1982.
Yeah.
We're in 2022 now. Some things have changed, you know. Housing costs is one of them, you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that debate me and want to debate about college and it worked for me, I'll be like, you 55 years old. You paid $12,000 for your house. College was free back then. Now that same house is worth $800,000 and college is $200,000. You know what I'm saying? And we got to realize things don't work no more. So when I go into these classes and talk, it'd be like all I'm doing is just delivering information that they ain't never heard before.
Yeah.
But should have heard that. They should have been told that in 4 years, this career that you in school to learn, it's already on its way out today. So you guys got to start looking at, you know, is this information, up-to-date information, because things have gotten real and we really it's so critical that we continue to communicate. You know, this is real estate. They're buying up, all these billionaires are buying Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, not Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, Richard Branson. They're all buying up all the land all across the country, and they building brand new super cities everywhere. So here's what I think, in my personal opinion. I think they're in the process of about to give us reparations. You know why I think that? Because they had a plan to say, we're going to buy everything up first. We're going to buy all the land on the planet first. So when they get their reparation, they may get $10,000 a month for the rest of their life, but that $10,000 is going to be like they still on government assistance.
Yeah.
Because things are so expensive. You can't buy no house with that $10,000 a month. You know what I mean? 70% of the houses that sold in the last decade sold for cash to Wall Street corporations. So if we cannot look at the strategy, it's like we're playing a game of chess right now, and I'm one of the only people who playing it who know how to play. I'm looking at the moves, the strategic moves they're making, like, oh, that pawn is not a threat. Oh, that pawn is a huge threat. You know what I mean? We got to learn how to play the game. Everybody need to learn how to play chess, because right now they playing a game of chess with us, with most of us playing checkers. But the reality is buy our land. We got to start. And then those of us who got the money that's doing okay, or got a little money, or got some good credit, we need to be buying commercial real estate to protect our businesses. Yeah. Because if we don't own some real estate, you know what I'm saying, we're in trouble. Where are we going to put our schools at? Where are we going to put our business, our grocery stores at? Where are we going to grow our gardens at to feed our community? We got to have land. So real quick, I want to say this. Whenever the real estate market takes off and things start to get good with land, all of a sudden they come up with a distraction. So what is that distraction in 2022 that is keeping us as a people from buying up all the land that we can buy? Everybody's talking about the stock market. Everybody's talking about Bitcoin. Everybody's talking about all this other stuff. But I'll raise you this. Bitcoin and stocks, none of that stuff mean anything if you don't own a home to lay your head down in. A college degree don't mean nothing if you ain't got a place to lay your head down in. Period. If nobody's hiring, if they decide, you know, black people are too dangerous, look at them in the rap videos. You see what happened when you give black people money. You know what I'm saying? Look what happened when we get these African people money. This is how they react. So we don't want to give them money. So let's not hire them anymore. They are dismantling the system to where that's where we're headed. So guess what? All that education, all them degrees don't mean anything no more if those people aren't hiring anymore.
That's so true. Because I was just saying, I say this all the time. Like when COVID hit, if you turn off the TV, right, and didn't watch and didn't know any of it, and you got your house, you got everything that you in order, it doesn't affect you at all.
Right.
It zero. It doesn't. You literally, you know, you might walk in to go, you know, somewhere, and you looking around, people got masks on and stuff like that. What the hell happened? And somebody got to tell you, you know, say, oh, this, oh, really? You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, I'm not gonna come back here because I got my food and, you know, I got a vegetable backyard. I mean, a garden in my backyard. I got my food, I got my water. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's like, I tell people all the time, simplicity and sustainability will get us through all of this. You know what I'm saying? Sustainability and simplicity.
You know what really bothered me in a major way was when Venus and Serena, King Richard came out, the movie.
Uh-huh.
I said, this is going to be an amazing story of a Black family.
Yeah.
And I wish that I could have had every person in America, Black person in the world, needed to see this movie because it was going to totally dismantle what TV was teaching us. But what really tripped me out the most, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna take I'm gonna take a bunch of people to the movies with me. And I said, hey, I'm gonna take y'all want to go to the movies with me. I want to bring some kids to the movies. And Miss Nikita reached out and said, I got a homeschool and we got this many children. And I was like, oh, okay, well, with that amount of children, I might as well just rent the whole movie theater, right? So I rented the whole theater, and she called a couple more schools, and the next thing you know, we went in there. Now that was great, but you know what really bothered me the most?
Mm-hmm.
I was told that's never been done before. That is not normal. I'm like, I just rented a movie theater. It didn't cost that much. It wasn't like it was 100,000 or 50 or even 10. I rented a movie theater and brought in a bunch of young people and their parents and gave them popcorn and some sodas. And they're telling me, they're looking at me like, what's the angle? What are you trying to do here? What do you really want? What are you up to? You know what I mean? And I'm like, because they thought it was going to be something. I was like, no, I just want everybody to see this movie because it's going to debunk all the BS. But my point of it was, it really bothered me because they said, that's not normal. We've never seen that before. That's not normal for people to do that for a non-rapper or somebody like that. Even the guys flossing, they ain't doing nothing like that. And I'm like, that should be the normal. That should be the normal. We got 100 Black men coming to a school and we're going to teach our young people how to tie a tie. That's the best use of a Black man. 100 Black men come into a room, a school, and teach these kids how to tie a tie. That bothered me. That really pissed me off. That's all y'all can do.
I want to ask y'all a question. Both y'all, please elaborate on this, okay? I think about this a lot, and I'm going to hear both y'all's opinion, okay? There's a small percentage of us that get it. You know what I mean? Everything we're talking about, specifically now, there's a small percentage of us that get all of this. So, how do y'all feel as far as, are you frustrated that the masses of us aren't getting it? Are you just focused on the ones that get it? How do y'all feel about that? And, how do y'all maneuver with that and the way you feel about it?
I'll go first. When I was young, fresh out of college, I was on a mission to save all the children, the African children. That's what was in my heart. And I was in the public school system for 6 years. And I was giving them my heart. I was doing not just, the curriculum that the school provided, but I was adding to that. I was adding our story and, my own created self-esteem and self-love curriculum, right? I'm adding all of that in there and I'm giving the children all I got. And these were children in southern urban areas. Every day that they went home, it got undone. And so each day was like starting all over again.
Wow.
Because it's not just about the math skills and the reading skills, it's also about building them from within, right? Because their self-esteem was under attack all the time. And so every day it was like it was being undone when they go home because their parents didn't have that. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the parents were dealing with self-hatred, hatred of their own people and self-destructive behavior and all kinds of internal issues, right? So it began to kill my spirit after years and years and years. It began to kill my spirit. So I was working in the classroom doing this. my sister and I had after school programs and summer programs, and we were on a mission. We're gonna save all the African children. But the reality that I had to accept after 6 years in the public school system is that, in the words of one of my Babas, Baba Baruti, there are going to be casualties of war. There are going to be casualties of war. This is a war that we're in, right? And there are some folks that want to grow and want to learn and will accept what you give them and ask for more and take it to the next level. And then there are some that will fight you to stay ignorant.
Yeah.
They will fight you to stay in that state of mental darkness, right?
Mhm.
So I learned the hard way. Don't cast pearls to swine. You know, I'm going to do what's in my heart to do. I'm gonna follow the mission that I was given by my ancestors to do this work with our children. And I'm clear that some are going to take the seeds that I give them because they're already rooted in good soil, and we're gonna shine the light on them, and they're gonna grow.
Yeah.
Their families support that, right?
Mhm.
And some are not. I had to come to a place of peace and knowing that it's not in my hands.
Yeah.
It's not in my hands. Some are going to roll with it and grow, and some are not. And I think I done shed enough tears and I breathed for a lifetime over those who won't. But, you know, they say we have new opportunities. We can come back again, try again, you know, or at some other point in that ancestral line, they'll get it. But some of us are not going to wake up in this day and
That's true.
that's just how it is.
Many are called, few are chosen. That type deal.
Mm-hmm. But for those that do, we have a responsibility to get deep in this thing and grow in this thing and then share what we know. That's the whole concept of each one teach one. If you got something, you know it for sure, you got it strong, go teach somebody. Go teach several somebodies.
Yeah.
Right? And the cycle should continue.
Each one teach one needs to that needs to become, you know, that phrase, it needs to become important again. You know what I mean? It needs to become a part of culture. Each one teach one, and the true meaning behind it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you know. That's what needs a. That's when it needs to come back. Brother TJ, what do you think about that?
You know, she had me so caught up in the answer. I'm like, what was the question again? I was captivated, like, wow, she's right. So what was the question again, my brother?
Oh yeah, no. She was. I was just asking, what do you say about now? I was just thinking about what she's saying. Now I gotta think of the question myself.
Very motivated.
What I was saying is, she only laughing. But I was asking about as far as we know that the masses aren't going to get it, and it's a very small percentage, of it's going to get it. So how do you approach that? How do you feel about that? Like, how do you approach it?
You know, as like I said again, I traveled across the country. You know, I used to be an advisor to the Compton and Inglewood School District. I was full gun ho with I'm gonna teach everybody what I know, and I was knocking some doors down. And I realized, I looked at the pushback and the amount of resistance I was getting, and I realized that they're gonna make sure everybody don't get this. But I do realize that the ones that do get it, it don't take all of us to get it. You know, I'm a big watcher of the TV show, the TV shows and the movies of Star Trek, right?
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek, Star Wars. You know,
So
it's gonna be like the ones who get it. They're gonna be like the Jedi.
yeah, exactly.
All it takes few of us to go out there and change the world. You know what I mean? So I feel like we like the Jedi.
Yeah.
We gonna go out there and we gonna do what we gotta do. Things, you know, things happen, but by the time we're gonna leave an effect on the world that they gonna realize, yeah, that was true what they said. We can go, we do need to go back to the trades. And that's what's happening right now. People are realizing it to where I don't have to fight no more like I used to. When I first saw college back in the days, man, I was under attack. They were so mad at me. I felt like I was telling them that somebody didn't exist that they've been worshiping for 1,000 years. But now I got people, them same people that was mad at me for saying what I said, are sending me articles in the mail. I mean, sending me text messaging me articles and look at this. You was right 5 years ago. You was right 7 years ago when you said that. Look at this. But you know how it go when the other people say it is true.
Yeah.
But when we say it, nah, he don't know what he's talking about. But now they starting to realize. But like she said, it's casualties in war. Everybody don't get it. And honestly, I don't want to take everybody with us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because some people is too brainwashed. They too far gone, and they gonna fight all the way. It's easier to teach someone who wants to learn something. You know what I mean? That's why I like working with the youth, with the each one teach one young people, because they like sponges. They just, hey, we try, we thirsty. Give us the knowledge, you know. But when you're dealing with the older people, they be like, well, no, my professor said, you ain't got enough data for me. You know what I mean? So I know I'm tired of dealing with that. We don't like what they say, 12 years to get it done. We ain't got time to be debating no more. We just got to work with the people that want to learn the information. And that's all we can do.
That's it.
Yeah. So that's the ones of us who gonna change the world. Everybody else, well, just like with Marcus Garvey. Everybody wasn't on board for that when he was doing first. But when they looked at the success, when they looked at how well off that they was over there doing, when they looked at everybody's work, everybody's eating, they got more Black business owners over there. They got generational employment. They know that, oh, my little son can go get a job there. Just like when I go to Each One Teach One, I'm like, I probably can get every last one of these young people a job. I'm willing to finance some business startups when they get older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just one person. So think about that. As a business owner, we're going to make sure the ones that got it, they're going to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
There ain't going to be no student loans. They ain't going to be trying to go out there and figure it out. We're going to be like, look, I'm going to leave this to you because I know you're going to do the right thing with it because you didn't learn and you had all the best questions and you really been doing your homework. So I'm willing to put the money up for your first brick and mortar. I'm willing to pay for whatever this technology of this intellectual property that you came up with because I know you did a good job doing it, and I'm gonna pay for it. You ain't gotta go talk to no scammers that's gonna rip the community off. I'm gonna give you this money purely based on the fact that you got to put it in the community, our community, and give our people jobs. So that's why I say I'm not really worried about the ones who not. I'm worried about the ones who gonna do it, and I'm gonna make sure that they're okay. Even if I got to go beg, borrow, whatever it takes to make sure it happens, we got to make sure these homeschoolers, these are the ones people who are getting it done. So we got to make sure they're okay. That's what I'm saying. We got to make sure these schools, these homeschoolers, own the building that they're teaching our children in. Because I'm seeing them too many of them closed down clear throughout the country. But yeah, I'm not worried about the ones who don't. I'm just worried about the ones who want the information and they find us. And that's why I appreciate being on your show, family. You know, I appreciate Ms. Nikita for inviting me, inviting me into the school to talk to the young people because we want to make sure the people who want the information get the information. Everybody else, they on their own. I ain't got time to argue and debate nobody.
Yeah. Just so y'all know, just on record, Nikita, your answer cracked my skull. I might have I'm not gonna say nightmares, but I might have some beautiful dreams about that answer. And then, and brother TJ, your daggone analogy with the daggone Jedi, that's spot on, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. That's spot on. I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm sitting there thinking about Obi-Wan Kenobi and you know what I'm saying? I'm like going through my mind, like, that's how it was. Them jokers, goddamn, they all they had. And they had their small schools, the Pennywise, you know what I'm saying? You know,
on that. Let's go in. Let's go on it. Not to cut you off, brother, but let's go that real quick. The cartoons is telling us what's going on. Yoda is the baddest of the baddest Jedi. He taught all the Jedi, and them some bad brothers and sisters, right? And now you got the baddest of the baddest. He over here sitting in classes, teaching people, teaching the young Padawans, the young students how to read, And next thing you know, when the Jedi that's fighting the war, they come in and have a question for Master Yoda. They like, and Yoda answers the question. Students, my 5, 6, 7-year-olds, where do we find that planet at? You know what I'm saying? And they know, they telling them where the answer to that question. But then when you look at X-Men, same exact thing.
Yeah.
The greatest of the greatest is the ones that's teaching the classes. So that's what my homeboys laugh at me. They say, oh, I know you was doing your Yoda thing and I didn't want to bother you. You know what I'm saying? Doing your X thing, you know. But on the real though, who are our children learning from? Yeah. Right? Do you want them to learn from somebody who graduated at the top of his game in entrepreneurship? Or do you want them to learn from somebody who's barely making enough money to succeed or afford, who's having financial difficulties because they ain't making enough money to teach? No offense to my teachers out there. I'm just saying we got to start opening the door to bring in these scholars.
Yeah, I agree.
Coming straight off the battlefield, coming home to teach the young people. I need to have, when I retired, I needed to have a place that I can go home and share all the knowledge because I'm highly respected everywhere I go. Everybody know who I am. That's for the school children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to go back to that. Bring these scholars to teach these young people.
Yeah.
To teach the teachers so that they can teach the young people and keep us up to date. Like I said, they showing it all in the TV shows, but people ain't really figured that out.
Yeah, I've come to the and kind of throw my 2 cents into what a question I asked y'all. I've come to the grips before, just because of it's very rare in the conversation we're having right now, being able to be, especially on this high of a level, with unless a foundation of information to be able to back up, you know, your back your information up to be able to really to be able to articulate, you know what I'm saying, what you're, hold on a second, my dang on thing shut down, 1 second. But yeah, to articulate what we're saying and being able to converse on it, and us being able to understand what we're saying with each other. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to have that conversation, you know, nowadays with a lot of people. It's almost damn near impossible, you know? And unfortunately, you know, that's, you know, literally where we're at right now.
Right.
Go aside and admit that what you thought you knew, you don't actually know, or what you were doing didn't work, and it's time to let go of what you thought you knew and what you were doing and the way you did it, and do something different that is suitable and fitting for the current situation. We have to do what's suitable and fitting for the current situation in order to improve our condition, improve our situation. We can't continue to do the same thing, no result, or to see regression and just keep on doing it just because. We have to be willing to grow and change. We have to be willing to admit when something no longer works. It's humbling.
I say.
It's humbling. You know, it's necessary.
I say.
Yeah, I say, no, you that's real talk. I say. And it is still, you know, I talk about my book, I talk about America only, for Black folks specifically, America only breeds Negroes and niggers. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know what I'm saying? That's all this system, they either want you to be, you know, shucking and jiving, you know, bootlicking, you know what I'm saying? Just being a part of their system, or they want to make you, they want to put things in front of you, influence you, so you do the most dastardly thing just to, you know, just to make make it by, or just because your mind's so torn up from listening to crazy rap music, crazy movies, and all these different things. You know, you don't have no options. We have to go. It takes us, the ones that, you know, cultivate ourselves and have literally the DNA and the mindset and the lineage, like you were saying, other Nikita, that we're up and awake now, to receive this and to teach it. You know what I'm saying? It is many of called, few are chosen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not a lot of us.
That's right.
You know what? It is a lot of us. Let me fix it. It is a lot of us, but we not asked. Like one of my homeboy owns a restaurant in LA called Simply Wholesome.
Mhm.
It's one of the biggest black-owned businesses in wealthiest people I know. Almost.
Mhm.
And I asked him. I said I had a homeschool out there I was dealing with, and I said, "Can I bring my homeschool up here and you talk to them about business, what you're doing?" He said, "TJ, I've been up here for 25 years, and you're the first person that ever asked me something like that."
Mm.
And that really bothered me. I'm like, I'm the first person, thinking it just really is like, wow. And I said, why do you think that is? He said, because I don't fit the profile. He got long locks, and he said, I don't wear no suits and ties, and he even knew what was going on.
Yeah.
My point is, he opened the door up. Boy, I'm thinking, we just gonna come in there and look around. Before I know it, man, they done shut down half the business, and in there feeding these young people. They say whatever y'all want. These young people in there tomorrow, give me the salmon and all that. I'm like, he like, yeah, let them do whatever they want. That's cool. Meaning they were so excited that they were there. And it's like, because we put our children in higher education, there's no need to look back at the black-owned businessman and woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's need to go back and look. But if you go look back, when they find out, we'll find out that we own a lot. We own enough that we can save ourselves. We don't need Hollywood to do it. We don't need rappers to do it. We got enough successful business owners that we can build Black America out ourselves, Africans out ourselves.
Yeah, that's the truth.
All we got to do is want them to do it. That's why I say they come in and say, we got to fix the problem and we're going to bring in some help. And I always ask people, I'll be like, what does that look like to you? What does help look like to you? And I sure enough, every time, like, I think we need to take that money and send these children off to college.
Yeah.
Said so, okay, well, I'm not giving no money no more. I don't want nothing to do with that because I know that is not the help that I know that's going to work. The help that we need to start reaching out to these business owners that look like us and tapping into their resources because they got relationships. They got people didn't realize, like, how are you doing this? I'll make statements say, I helped 100 Black men start successful businesses and indirectly help thousands. Because why? Because they're using the Black print that I taught them. Not the blueprint. The blueprint is go to college, get a good job, blah, blah, blah. That's the blueprint. The Black print is start a business, go talk to your business owners and start a business and have generational wealth and pass it down and help other people start businesses. That's the Black print. Cooperative economics, we got to go back to what we know that works. And no one should be trying to create a wheel with all these successful business owners we got here. No one, each one teach one should not be trying to figure out how we're going to get another bus or get a bus. Yeah. We already know, reach out to the Black Business Owner Commission and they're going to buy you all the buses. We're going to get you the land and build you a new school because we know that more people are homeschooling now. So she should already be taken care of because she's got the best job of us all. She's the one who's raising these young minds that are going to take care of people like me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I get older, I need to be able to fall back. Just like growing up in Compton, I look at, as I'm getting ready, I'm looking at my elders, my older business owners, they looking at my grind and my hustle and trying to leave me their businesses. And I'm like, well, why don't you leave it to your son? He don't want it. He got a job. He got a job making $90,000 a year. He think he got the world in his hand. He just looking for easy. He don't want to put the hours in, And I'm thinking to myself, I said, well, leave it to the person who best qualifies for it. And that's me. He wanted to leave it to me because he knew I wasn't going to sell it and shut it down. I understood the value of keeping things Black.
Yeah.
So we need Miss Nikita to continue to raise these young people so that I want to be like, we're going to just give it that business to each one, teach one students. I know some young people over there, they'll run the heck out of this business. We're going to put them in there and let them run it. We need to be able to just reach straight to the schools and pull them out and put them in there. Like my boy told me with the restaurant, he said these college students can't come run this restaurant. I don't care what they graduate.
They don't know. They don't know.
Run this restaurant. they don't have the skills or the training.
Mm-hmm.
That really blew me away to hear somebody else say that. I thought it was, but my point is, we got enough knowledge, we got the understanding of what it's going to take to fix the problem, and I'm happy to be a part of the solution.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Team we got here.
Woo, boy. That's why I love. It's such an honor meeting brothers like you and sisters like you. You know what I'm saying? Because like you honestly keep me motivated. Honestly, like in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? In so many ways, because you see a future. It might not be the masses, but it's going to take us time to grow. You know what I'm saying? Just like anything else. And to see what y'all are doing right now, I applaud y'all, and it is such a honor, honestly, to not only build with y'all, but just for y'all to have this documented here to spread to the world. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? Um, in closing, Sister Nikita, could you please, if people want to reach you, contact you, etc., what's the best way to do that?
Nikita Simmons Bush. I think on IG is COTO Homeschool. My website is COTOcollectionatl.com. And just look for each one teach one out there in social media land. Each one teach one homeschool in the Atlanta area. And that's where we are. And by phone, I can be reached at 678-707-3810.
Appreciate you, sister, so much. You know what I'm saying? I
for
can't say
having
much more. Brother TJ, what we got?
Okay, I just typed mine in the page. My website is tjloftin, LOFTIN.com. If you're interested in picking up a copy of my book, recently we published Monetizing Gentrification, one of the greatest economic books that's been written, straight game from 25 states. tjloftin.com. It's only, $45 to your door, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, my phone number also is 310-619-3954 if you want to book me to speak or come out and do a panel discussion, etc. Or are you interested in taking a training class? Or if you're interested in all my social media, it's Thomas TJ Loftin also. Thomas TJ Loftin, LOFTIN. So TikTok, especially Instagram and YouTube.
Well, like I said, y'all gonna have me thinking tonight, boy. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I'm dead ass serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's good to see y'all doing these things. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I'm so sincerely saying that. You know what I'm saying? And I knew from the information I had about you, brother. You know what I'm saying, TJ? I knew it's a lot different when you talk to the individual as opposed to what you see, out there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm even more. I would say I'm more even impressed, more so talking to you to see, there's a genuine being, educated being behind. You know what I'm saying? Sincere, educated, humble being behind, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Miss Nikita, you already know. You know what I'm saying? You ever since you broke it down about homeschooling, you know what I'm saying, when we came over to your crib, that changed my whole mindset right there. And I'm just so happy to it put really a big it put a big it really motivated and influenced me on the way I should go in education, So I thank y'all much again, you know what I'm saying, for coming out with the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast, you know what I'm saying. I thank y'all so much, and
Gratitude.
we'll see y'all later.
Right.
All right. Peace.
Peace, family.
All right. Peace. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me hold on a second. Let me end this real quick.